It's hard to imagine that 10 years ago, there wasn't a Facebook, there wasn't an Instagram, or a Twitter. The word selfie didn't exist, and the term following someone literally meant to physically follow after them. 15 years ago, people were actually waiting to hear from one another because not even email usage was a common form of communication. How many of you can relate to the following questions I'm going to ask? When you ask someone to take a picture with you, do you tend to use the phrase, "Hey, let's take a selfie"? When you meet someone new, do you ask them for their Instagram or Twitter username instead of their phone number? And how many of you check your social media account more than once and periodically throughout your day? Social media has put a wedge between how society used to operate and how it operates today. According to the Pew Research Center, this plot graph shows that in 2005, only 10% of all internet-using adults had at least one social media account. Today, in 2015, this number has significantly skyrocketed to 76% of all internet-using adults have at least one social media account. Social media has become a new addiction that affects our minds, our daily living habits, and how we see the world as today. Today, we will discover how social media allows everyone into our private lives. We will uncover how social media has become the number one factor in cyberbullying. And we will reveal how social media has affected our lives and our self-esteem. To begin with, when we use social media, little do we know we're losing a sense of our privacy. Social media accounts reveal personal information that can make us vulnerable to crimes like identity theft, cyber stalking, and even worse. Let's be honest, it's very common and very easy to steal pictures and information found on social media websites. Hacking into a social media account isn't that hard, and this has a domino effect that can lead to identity theft. According to an article titled "Facebook and Your Privacy," written in the Consumer Reports, 4.8 million people have posted where they would be on a certain day or tag themselves into a certain location. This can be a potential tip-off for burglars so they can make your house an easy target. And it also poses a threat to whoever may be awaiting you at this location that you will be at. Also, cyberbullying has become, via social media, is the number one cause of suicide among 15 to 24-year-olds. According to the Megan Meyer Foundation website, suicide that stems from cyberbullying claims at least 30,000 lives a year. According to the Cyberbullying Research Center, 81% of teens admit that cyberbullying is easier online. 20% of teens that are bullied through social media accounts contemplate committing suicide. The Cyberbullying Research Center also reports that suicide among 10 to 14-year-olds has grown 50% over 3 decades. Not only is this an issue regarding cyberbullying, but social media also affects our minds and our self-esteem. Checking social media accounts can become very addicting, and users tend to obsess how they are perceived online. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, which involves a case of a 24-year-old female that used social media to such an extent it interfered with her professional and her private life. She used Facebook excessively for at least 5 hours a day. She was dismissed by her employer because she continued to check her social media accounts rather than working. Due to this, she also developed anxiety symptoms as well as insomnia. Social media can lead us to feel lonely, frustrated, or angry when we compare our lives to our friends' lives. We tend to feel self-conscious, and it tends to lower our self-esteem. How many of you have seen a post online about your friend receiving a new promotion at a job, or an engagement post, or seeing how well a friend's doing, and it tends to lead to a tad bit of jealousy? This tends to lower our self-esteem, little do we know. Social media has become a new form of drug, keeping everyone in its path addicted to want and need more. Today, we discovered how social media allows the world into our private lives. We've also uncovered how social media has become the #1 source of cyberbullying. And finally, we revealed how social media can affect our minds and our self-esteem. When using social media, I strongly suggest that you use discretion when you post anything, because everything leaves a mark online. Thank you.